We're live, Connor. We are live. NFL Draft Day, Origins rookie draft. I'm so freaking excited, man. I honestly, this is the day that we've all been waiting for, and I could not be more excited.
Yeah, no, it's always a lot of stress leading up to the day, a lot of things going on, everything that you've talked about, all the different, rookies and players and all the different potential landing spots, it all gets solidified today. And so yeah, really exciting day. Got a lot of good bets on the line, turned to my final mock draft. So feeling pretty good.
Yeah. So for those of you who maybe are not familiar with this kind of live stream, we've done this a couple weeks now, but we are going to be doing a fast draft Origins. I guess it's called Origins Chaos now, is like their second tournament name. Uh, but basically a best ball draft. There's only 6 rounds, rookies only. I believe this is up to like 75% ish filled as of right now.
Yeah, 840 out of the 1100 total max.
So somewhere in and around there. So this will go through tonight and through this weekend. It will just go until it kind of fills. So there's about 300 more contests still left to be done. I'd imagine a good amount of them are going to be done today or leading up to tonight. So if you haven't yet and you want to sign up for Fast Draft, use the promo code DLF. You get a deposit match for up to $50, and you can draft in this Origins contest. Like I said, six spots or 6 rounds. Draft 6 rookies. Only the top 4 are necessarily needed for your starting lineup every single week, but it's for 2025 only, and you could win some pretty decent money, especially if you know what you're doing and know what you're talking about, as we've been trying to do in this contest for the past couple weeks.
Yeah, $5 entry, $1,000 prize to first. Pretty solid here. And as you can see, we got 2 more slots waiting to fill. So if you're hanging out right now and don't have fast draft, there's a chance that you can draft with us and stream snipe us because we're live right now. Talking about this. So, but even if you're not, if you're watching on playback, I'll be in these streets. As you can see, I've already fired a couple entries for this one. The previous one, which filled sooner than expected, which was even bigger, I fired a bunch more too. And they have like kind of regular, more standard best ball ones too. So like Flex 4, I think Addison and I are going to do that as
Mhm.
well at some point. And that's more like traditional best ball, still only 6 rounds, but includes not just rookies, all players. So this one here, 15 grand first prize here again, $5 entry. It's just tough to beat those kinds of like fun, like quick hitting things that you can potentially win a lot of money. And I mean, don't take too long. It's like this. I think each draft last time was what, 8 minutes, something like a little over 8 minutes, start to finish.
Basically, yeah. I mean, the picks themselves are a 20-second clock, and there's 10 teams per
Yep.
league, so to speak, and 6 rounds. So I mean, it goes by very, very fast. And there's even the turbo mode as well, where you can set your rankings, set how many contests you want it to join, and it'll like auto join for you, and just basically auto draft your team based off of your rankings. So that's an even faster way to like multiply the amount of entries that you have in all of these contests. So one more spot, and we'll be running.
Yeah, love it. Do you do mock drafts? Like, do a mock draft like a full first rounder or no?
I did one like a week or 2 ago on
Okay.
PFF just for like the heck of it.
Yeah,
My issue is I'm not in like the defensive streets as much. So like whenever it's
very
like,
fair.
I'm like, yeah, Mason Graham's gonna slot in here somewhere, but I just want to give all these people like offensive players because that's what I know, what I care about. Like offensive linemen have to go in here at some point. Like Will Campbell's like the auto pick for the Patriots. It seems like a lot of people want Kelvin Banks to Chicago or San Fran at 10 or 11. That's the only my only weaknesses are for those mock drafts are those.
Yeah, I rely on Noonan for a lot of defensive stuff. He's obviously out in the tackle streets, projecting players every week on like snaps, tackles, assists, everything like that. So rely on his ball knowing on the defensive stuff specifically. But yeah, it's turned in my last one, and it was, I don't know, kind of fun. It was a little interesting. It's a fun exercise to do every year. You got any hot takes for tonight? Like any team player landings or like pairings that you think are going to happen, or like any player is going to fall or go way higher than what's expected?
Not anything other than what a lot of people have been just kind of throwing out there already. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Shador doesn't get drafted tonight. I also wouldn't be surprised if he went like third overall to the Giants if they really liked him. Although apparently I don't know if they're in on Jackson Dart or if that was just the GM's son.
I
That's
saw that.
just
Yeah.
that was pretty funny. I do think Chicago trades up tonight. I think they figure out a way to get a deal done to trade up for Ashton Genty. And then I would not be surprised if Amarian Hampton was then also a top like 15-ish pick, kind of in response to that, like what we had with Bijan and Jameer Gibbs, where they were 8 and 12, I think. If
Yeah.
Genty is like a top 5, top 6 pick, and then Hampton, I think, could get slotted in. If a team is really in love with a running back and really in love with him, I think that he could go top 15 too. And then apparently Ted McMillan, we talked about that last week, but me saying that he's going to be a top 10 or 12-ish pick, like I think Dallas is the last stop for him. But apparently that's a hot take based on the betting markets.
Yeah, and those moved a little bit. Those have been like all over the place. Like it bounced. It was like open to like 17 and a half, then it was up to 18 and a half, and then down to like 11 and a half, and then back up to like 13 and a half. So like it seems like no one really knows what to do with Tet. And that seems to be the opinion of the league too. It's like I think Peter Schrager tweeted last night at like 11 p.m. or like literally like pretty late. It was like Ted McMillan could go top 5, 10, 20, or 25. He's like every executive that I talk to has a different opinion of him. And I'm like, that's I mean, to be fair, all it takes is one. So that means if someone thinks he's going to go top 5 or 10, he's probably going to go top 5 or 10. To be honest, at that point. So I don't know. I think the Jags like him, but I think they probably go Genty at 5 over him. I mean, I think you mentioned Panthers might be in play. Like I don't know, then the Cowboys maybe, or a team could trade up. Like I wouldn't be surprised with any of those options. Oh, and look at
I
that.
think
Our draft
there you go.
starting,
Right.
and let's hear. We have the
Is that Jeff
105.
Ratcliffe at the 101? Is that what I saw?
Ooh, yeah, yeah. It looks like
Gosh,
Jeff. Yeah,
those are
Jeff
sharps indeed.
Ratcliffe. All right. I think we're, I mean, in a decent spot here. Looks like Genty, Ward, Hampton, Henderson, Travis Hunter. I think would be my selection if he's there at 5. But I think if he's not, then maybe Tet or one of the other running backs if we're in that spot.
I mean, we're guaranteed one of those top 5 players right there, and I'm in on
Right.
all 5 of those guys. So if it is
Nice.
Hunter, I would go Hunter. But if Hunter
Okay.
goes here, I'd go Hampton.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
Boom. All
there you
right,
go.
Hunter.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could legit make a case for Hunter even being like, I mean, I guess this is about right. I mean, in an early drafts, he was being drafted like the 1-2 turn because like there was all the rumors of like, oh, he might be like a full-time DB and then like a part-time receiver. It seems like Cleveland is pretty set on using him as like a full-time receiver and maybe some on the defensive side.
I feel like they're gonna let him try to do both as much as he wants to or can.
It'd be awesome. I'm excited to see it. I don't know if it'll work out, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I think he's a freak. Like he just moves differently.
Yeah, and especially if you're like in this format specifically, like if he is more of a full-time wide receiver, I mean, on Cleveland, he's going to be by far the best wide receiver on that team. Jerry Judy's like good, but Hunter's
Yeah.
just like a different animal. That's why I wanted him on the Patriots, because he would be that much even better than Stephon Diggs and everybody else. But if he's going to be a full-time wide receiver, again, they still need a quarterback. Maybe they get Kirk Cousins or something, but I think he'd be phenomenal for 2025, even if he's playing both ways. Like he might burn really bright and it might not be like he's playing 8 to 10 years both ways, but if we get like 3 or 4 years of him playing both ways, I mean that could be a phenomenal 3 or 4 years.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, and then there's the durability stuff, like you mentioned. It's like he's got to, he's getting hit by bigger athletes now, and like he's got to also hit on the other side. But like, I mean, no one else has even like really tried to do this. So I'm saying, like, why not give him a shot, and see what happens. I mean, if it doesn't work out, like I'm sure he's still gonna be better than some of Cleveland's other corners. Like, I mean, like even
Mhm.
if like a 75th percentile Travis Hunter is probably better than what they're trotting out there sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Even as a 2.
Yeah,
Uh
Colston Loveland, we've been wanting to get him. I don't know if this is
I
the spot.
I think that's it. I mean, based on I think that's the tier break right here.
I
Uh
agree.
Against
Like,
everybody else, because then you start getting into kind of weird profiles that some of them have questions, maybe even the landing spots or the draft capital is in question. Milrow, I think, would be the only other interesting one if you wanted to take a swing on his ultimate upside hitting in 2025. But yeah, I think Loveland is, I mean, there's people out there saying that there's going to be 2 top 10 tight ends tonight. That
yeah,
Tyler Warren
that's
might go to the Jets and then,
he goes to
Loveland
the
might
Bears.
go
Yeah.
somewhere else.
I wouldn't be surprised. I know McShay talked about it somewhat recently. And it's kind of an interesting spot that we're in right there because you talked about like a tier break essentially. I felt like we were at the end of 2 tier breaks, which is a good spot to be in for the most part because I think there's like a tier drop after Hunter to Judkins, Ibuka tier. And then, the other way, looking at Colson Loveland, who's a potential top 10 pick. And I would say for sure top 22 pick. I think Chargers are like his backstop ultimately. Obviously the Harbaugh Michigan connection there. And then you're
Mhm.
looking at like Scadabo, who's like, I mean, we don't even know if he's going to be like a third round pick. Like it's like,
He might not be till Saturday. Yeah.
right. Like I don't want to be taking him in the second round of my draft. He might be fine. He might get a good landing spot, but like, I don't know. I have some serious questions.
Mhm.
All right. We are up in 2 picks. Anyone around here interested you? Tuden, Imanor,
Yeah, I like RJ Harvey. There's been a lot of
Harvey.
RJ
Okay.
Harvey. Martinez is down there too. I'm a fan of Damian Martinez. But if you wanted to diversify a little bit, I don't think we've taken RJ Harvey yet.
We have not. No, because I think there was something wrong with his ADP. He went like, I don't even know, like top 8 or 9 in a lot of some of the early drafts that I'd done on this platform. And I mean, that just seemed really aggressive. I don't really know much about RJ Harvey. If you want to give us a little
I
quick rundown.
Yeah, UCF running back. He is older. He's coming in already at 24 years old. But man, the production is crazy. He's a full 3 down back, and he's been one of the popular names in terms of like he's getting this top 30 visit here, and he's getting this top 30 visit here. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he's the Steelers running back tomorrow night, and it's kind of him and Jalen Warren. I could see him being that kind of guy in a couple different places, like in Miami or Cincy or anywhere else like that.
Totally. That's a good call. Or back on the clock. I mean, I don't think Mason Taylor's a terrible option, even though he's a tight end. Tyler Shug's been getting some hype. Like, I don't know, which is surprising. But I don't know. Anyone here that you like? We got like 5 seconds.
I'd go Taylor or Shuck. There you go.
All right. Yeah,
I saw
I don't know.
Kyle Williams there whenever we took RJ Harvey, and I was like,
Oh,
man, if Kyle Williams can make it back, but I think he went at the turn.
he didn't make it back again. No way. Oh my god, this is crazy.
It was freaking Jeff.
Are we over? Did we get one Kyle Williams share in our streams or no?
Mm, did we even get one?
I don't know. I have one, but I think I sent it to you. Like I remember I sent you a screenshot that I did myself, just kind of like getting more familiar with ADP. And I
Back when
got
his
him
ADP
one
was like
fourth
the
round.
fifth round.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was in the 5th, like 6th round at one point, which is crazy looking back.
Jeff's team right now is crazy.
Yeah, Genti, Milrow, Martinez, Kyle Williams.
Holy upside, man.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, let's see some of the other teams. We got a little time or two. We're back on the clock. So yeah, Ward, Noel, Giddens, Raheem Sanders. I mean, Ward's a good pick. I don't know the rest of them. Again, like it feels like a little bit of a teardrop in a lot of these other early teams in
Hmm.
2nd through 4th rounds. So yeah, I think we're in a good spot here, to be honest. I would draft Shug if he gets back to us. I don't know if we'll get him.
Agreed.
We're still a couple picks away. I don't know if he's going to be any good, but he, probably a 2nd or 3rd round pick. It looks like at this point. I mean, there's rumors of the Saints trading up in the 1st round for him. I don't buy it entirely, but I buy that they are interested in him. So
There those rumors a couple days ago that he's some GM's like QB1 in the class, and I'm like,
that's crazy. Oh my gosh.
maybe.
Taj Brooks, I think, is a guy that I've been drafting every time. I'd be
Who
fine with
else is
that
down
there.
in here?
Let's see here.
Just for
Yeah, I'll keep
Drosky
scrolling.
Merritt's been getting some love. I think he was a KC top 30 visit.
Okay, that's kind of
Um,
interesting. Ricky White got some love. I saw somewhere recently. I don't remember where, but it's like a mid to late round pick.
and yeah, we've scrolled too
I,
far.
yeah, shouldn't go
Ty
that far.
Felton could be interesting. I do like me some Taj Brooks.
All right. I
There he
mean,
is.
I
Oh,
vote we
where are
roll
you
with
going?
Brooks. I have 100% Chaos Origins ownership on Taj Brooks. So,
Let's go. He better
yeah,
hit.
all in. Let's go.
Wonder who
Uh,
who's he finishing this up with?
yeah, let's see. Ty Felton.
Ty Felton and Terrence Ferguson. All right, going for the combine upside.
Terrence Ferguson kind of reminded me of Dalton Schultz. I don't know. I watched him play a couple times. I went to the Oregon Wisconsin game, and I don't know, just the way he just kind of moved that way. And it was just kind of weird. Even he was obviously more athletic at this point, but all right. You want the what Krosky Merritt? I feel like
Sure,
that.
let's
Yeah,
run it.
why not?
Yeah. Instead of the popular pick for us there has been, I saw Kyle McCord down in there,
Oh, yep,
trying to hit on
yeah,
some other quarterback that might have an opportunity to start. I like Oronde Gadsden. I don't think the NFL likes him, but I like him. He was started as a wide receiver at Syracuse, then converted to tight end. So he's got some pretty good like production profile for a tight end. Kind of got a little like Darren Waller in him.
interesting.
I think it could be interesting.
Yeah, I struggle with some of these like mid to late round tight ends because I feel like the first round tight ends they got or first or second round tight ends they have a pretty good reasonable shot now to break out. Like if they're using the right offense, like the mid round tight ends, sometimes they just take a couple of years. Like they're like
Yeah,
and maybe they have the upside. It's just like even first round tight ends sometimes takes a couple of years, but obviously we've seen that change in recent years with some of the upside recently. All right, so I guess that was our last round. It always goes by so
that's it.
quick, and I'm like,
I
all right, we got
personally
one.
feel like this was the longest draft that we've actually done on stream.
Let's see. Yeah, 8:51. It is the longest. Yep. Yeah. 8 minutes, 51 seconds. What do we at? 16 minutes. I mean, we can try and draft another one. See
You
if
want to see where we're at?
let's see here. Let's see how many people are in this one. Let's see here. Checking location. I'm in a good spot. Oh, 7 still. That could be a
7
while.
slots. Just out of curiosity, what if you joined a flex 4?
Could definitely. Oh, I mean, we're already down to 5. Hold on, it's moving. People
Oh,
are joining right back in. Let's see. I mean,
oh,
if it's, we'll give it like another like, well, I don't know. Let me see here.
uh, another couple minutes.
Yeah, we'll have to give it another couple minutes. But yeah, it's I don't know because like the flex 4, maybe yeah, maybe those are moving right now too because it's the draft. But I feel like these are the rookie only stuff is fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, already down
agreed.
to 4 spots. It's moving.
I think a lot of people are waiting on that flex 4 because it hasn't filled up all that much, and maybe that's like they have way more spots for that one. It has a much bigger tournament. But I wonder if people are kind of waiting to see what happens this weekend before they really dive into those flex 4s. Uh, because a lot of ADP could change.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, it's I also think that drafting like if this contest has like if it lasts through the first round of the draft, which it might, I mean, we're like at 75, 80%. You might have some edge on like waiting and then getting like over the rest of the field who's drafting kind of blind like us. Like maybe in the later rounds, you'd be able to get like a guy who, goes in the second round randomly, but we thought he was going to be like fifth rounder or something like that. So there's a little bit of edge to that. Or it can go vice versa, or like someone just like luck boxed into like picking like 3 guys late that they knew was going to go way higher, or like were just sharp enough and like early Kyle Williams drafters in this contest are definitely going to have some nice CLV on this compared to anyone drafting post draft if he goes in like the second or third round. So
Hmm. Hmm. I bet you that I bet you we're definitely going to have drafts for this available tomorrow during the day. I don't know if it'll last into the night to like really substantially be able to take advantage of rounds 2 and 3 with known landing spots and draft capital.
yeah, that's true. Just based on the way that it's been moving. I mean, it was like they just launched it on Monday, so it's been filling pretty quick. Or
Hmm.
maybe it was Friday. I don't know exactly.
I think it was last week because we did one of these last week.
Oh
Um,
yeah. We did.
I don't
Like
remember if we streamed Thursday or Friday, but it was early on, relatively.
yeah,
Um, but
for
yeah,
sure.
it's been moving. But yeah, like that's where maybe there is if you can get into one of those like final things, and we are like it's tomorrow night like 9 p.m. We're kind of like 20 or so picks into round 2, and we know landing spots for Trey Harris. We know landing spots for Jaden Higgins and um, Jalen Noel and some maybe another running back or two kind of get thrown into that mix. That might kind of flesh out that tier after that Colston Loveland pick that we made, where we said this feels like a tier break as of right now with the information that we kind of have known to us for
Right.
known ish draft capital. But that might kind of help flesh out the later back end of the second round of these is if you can get into that, if this is still open with known landing spots for some of those guys, it might um, might make things a little bit better. Some of those guys might get pushed up into the early second. Just depends on where they go.
Totally. No, for sure. You think Emeka Ibuka gets first round draft capital tonight?
I hope so. I think he is very deserving of it, but I fear that a lot of the teams in the later half of the first round tonight don't necessarily need the wide receiver, and they might just want to beef up a couple of their extra defensive spots or linemen. That I fear that he might fall early to tomorrow, but he'll be like one of the first 5 or 6 picks tomorrow night, kind of like Ladd McConkey was last year.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't think that he's like, yeah, like I think that that's actually a kind of a somewhat of a fair comp in terms of like he could have a massive potential impact in the NFL. It's just like he doesn't necessarily profile as like he doesn't have like insane speed. He tested well, but just
Mhm.
not like Matthew Golden speed. He doesn't have like Tet size, like or anything like that. So he probably not like a true, alpha like X receiver or anything like that. Like so he's kind of just like in my opinion, a good player that'll play like can play on the outside, but can also, but I think ideally has moved around a little bit, plays in the slot some, plays on the outside some, and can do both. So I don't know. I mean, I think that he would be a great fit for the Texans. I think that'd be
Of
fun.
course.
I just
Mhm.
they might just go offensive line. That's that's a major concern. Um, I think that I also think some of the other fits are not like as clean in the back halves. Like the Rams, obviously they got trade for Devontae Adams. Like I don't know if receivers on like first on their list here anymore. Commanders, I mean, again they got Debo Samuel and like they have Terry McLaurin still. So maybe and the Bills they still need receiver help. Like and I would say Ibuka is very not the same as Keon Coleman in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but he's
But
kinda similar to Khalil Shakir
Khalil
in some
Shakir,
ways
yeah,
too.
exactly, right, exactly. So yeah, I don't know if he's a great fit there either. So it's just kind of tough finding a spot for him in that back like 10 picks, I think specifically.
It's really just I could see if Pittsburgh really honed in on, like, a George Pickens trade, I could see them going with Ibuka at 21, especially if the top 3 quarterbacks are already off the board and they kind of maneuver a Pickens deal. Um, Green Bay, I think, could use one, but not sure if they feel the need to go for that at 23. Houston, I think, is a prime spot, like you said, like that, like pairing him back up with CJ Stroud. They very much need a wide receiver too, even though they already traded for Christian Kirk. Washington, I would love it, but I could see them passing on Ibuka if like Travion Henderson is there. Because they've been in rumors that they are maybe looking at a more high profile RB1, and then
Yeah, that's who
Buffalo,
I had
KC,
mocked there
Philly.
in my final mock. I had Travion Henderson to the Commanders. If he's there, I mean, I think there's been some talk about like him going to the Broncos, maybe over Marion Hampton. I still think that Hampton's their guy. I think kind of the latest like Henderson's like steam was like the Broncos trying to, I don't know, maybe blow some smoke and just try and convince people that they don't love Hampton. From my understanding, they really like him. So I think they're gonna take Hampton at 20 instead of Henderson. But I wouldn't be surprised if they like either one. I think would make sense. Could they go tight end at this point if Colson Loveland's there? Maybe. But I mean, after signing Evan Ingram, I'm not sure that that's top priority. And then same thing, I think with like Tet or Ibuka or Golden, maybe. But I just they need a running back like bad that they believe in. Like what Estimate was a healthy scratch, I think, in the playoffs. And Javonte Williams now in the Cowboys. So I mean, they got
They
nothing.
they need someone
Those
hardcore.
guys, I mean, those guys kind of stink too. Like doesn't even matter. Like I don't know. I'm not really an estimate guy. He was fine, but I don't know.
Yeah, I can see Vegas trading back in to the late first if they don't get Genty, either they pass on him for Tet or Genty goes above them and then they just take an O lineman or somebody like that. Then I could see Vegas climbing back up into the late first, maybe ahead of Washington or anybody like that, and trying to see if they could get Travion because that would reunite Travion with Chip Kelly
Yep.
and also give them then that 5th-year option on him.
Yeah. No, and right now we have Genty minus 220 is the lowest odds, as high as minus 350 to go fifth overall right now, whether that be to the Jaguars or a trade from the Bears up to the Jaguars. I mean, there's rumors about maybe the Cowboys trying to get up there. And there's also, I guess this is kind of a fun rumor, was that like the Bears would trade up from 10 to 5, take Ashton Genty. the Jags would trade back to 10 in hopes of getting Ted McMillan at 10th overall. Um,
I'm in on
and
that.
yeah, so that or Tyler Warren, I think both of those could be interesting if he doesn't go 7, which is, I mean, it's a real possibility because a lot of these offensive linemen have gotten steamed here in the last like week. Like Kelvin Banks could go as high as 6 at this point. I think Banks 6, Membu 7 is very much in play, and then the Panthers could take one of Mason Graham, Jalen Walker, or Michael Williams, leaving the Saints with we have no idea who the Saints are going to pick at this
Mm-hmm.
point, but. And then, the Jags in that scenario, again, would have their pick of like Tet, probably Tyler Warren, or Colston Loveland, I guess, if that's their decision there too. But that would be, I feel like one of the other two would make a lot of sense there.
So I just remembered that I did last night send in one of my buddies from one of my dynasty leagues runs like a top 10 pool, so to speak.
Yeah.
So he's like, just, and you have to get the team and the player. You can't just say this player
Ooh,
slotted in to
okay.
that position. You have to also say the team. So my submission last night for this was Titans Cam Ward, Browns Travis Hunter, Giants Abdul Carter, Patriots Will Campbell. That's like the chalk top
Yeah,
four.
totally. Yeah.
Um, I did have the Bears taking Genty at 5, trading up with the Jaguars. I have the Raiders taking Tet, Jets taking Tyler Warren, Panthers going Jalen Walker, Saints grabbing Jackson Dart, and the Jaguars going Mason Graham then with the value. So
Nice.
that's a 100%er right there.
Yep, exactly. 10 for 10, 10 for 10 on all the picks right there. And then what did you guys do? Like, is like for draft order or something like that, or just like a buy-in, or just like bragging rights, or what did you guys do?
Yeah, it's just like a small little buy-in essentially, and
Oh, nice.
that's all it is,
That's
and
fun.
whoever wins it wins it. I think, or maybe there's like payouts, like if you get 2 or 3 of them right, you get a small payout or something like that. It's more divided out of the pool rather than, this much goes to whoever has the most right. I can't remember what the rules are for that, but that was my
Yeah.
top 10 submission for it.
No,
Because
that
I do think that I don't think Dart makes it past the Saints at 9. I think that he's like everybody's saying that they might
really.
still take Shador. I've seen that the Saints never really officially met with Shador. Um, and that they've only met with Jackson Dart. They've only met with Tyler Shuck. And I don't remember if they even did anything with Cam Ward. Maybe they did, or maybe they just said, screw it, he's not going to make it to us.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think they did. I don't think anyone outside of like, I think the top 3 teams met with Cam Ward, and that was about it. And I think they
Yeah.
even canceled visits for him. But yeah, I feel very confident saying that they're not going to take Shadur Sanders at 9. Um,
I think it's Dart.
yeah, so I don't know if they're going to take a quarterback at all at 9. That's my only contrarian thought there would be that maybe they don't. But there was someone was talking about it like an hour ago. Maybe it was some beat reporter saying that she thought that they're taking Dart at 9. That got some early steam and then kind of cooled off a lot. And now it's kind of making its way back on draft day of like, yeah, Dart doesn't get past 9. So we'll see. It's like I think I wouldn't be surprised with anything at this point of like how the draft goes in the top 10 because things start getting real weird at 5 with the Jags taking Genty or the Bears trading up to 5, giving away a second round pick just to pay a running back, top 6 money essentially immediately.
I just found the tweet on the Shador thing. It was every first round quarterback, with exception to Tua, that was like COVID year thing. So he taped a private workout, then he gave it to all 32 teams because of COVID. But outside of Tua, every first round quarterback over the last decade has had a publicly known top 30 visit or workout with the NFL team that drafted them. Shador did not meet publicly with the New Orleans Saints, but he did meet with the Browns, Giants, Raiders, Steelers, and Titans. And if we're assuming that he's not going, obviously he's not going to the Titans, especially because they nixed that second workout with him after they met with Ward. So assuming he's not going to the Titans, he's either going to the Browns or Giants. Maybe the Raiders are at 6, but then it really just seems like it's Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I didn't have him in the first round of my mock draft. I think there's a chance someone trades back into the first round.
Yeah, I think that's
I
where the Browns and the Giants could come into play if he falls past Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I don't think it would be a bad move for the Browns to trade up back in the first round, pair with his college teammate. Like I don't know, he gives the room a little bit of breath of fresh air. I think like is he going to be good? I have no idea. Like, but it could be somewhat interesting. And I think Cleveland needs a little bit of goodwill with their fans. After what they put them through the last couple of years at the quarterback position. So, I think that could be interesting. Giants could also make some sense. I think they like Jackson Dart a lot too, obviously, as what you mentioned. So, but yeah, we don't know how far Jackson Dart falls. So it's very, very volatile, especially at the quarterback position this year specifically. But and then Jalen Milroe is like a whole other factor too. We didn't even talk about him really.
Yeah.
He got a combine invite, which I thought held some weight, a couple weeks ago when the NFL said like, hey, we're only going to invite like 10 people to the combine. They're all going to be first round picks basically, or the NFL draft. I'm sorry. And, obviously, so I'm like, okay, well, I guess some team must have told them they're picking him in the first round. And then they invited like 18 guys to the NFL draft, plus some of them declined or like aren't coming, like in the top couple there. So, I mean, they basically invited, 20 plus probably total, and only like, whatever 17 to 18 are showing up. So I don't know about Milroe in the first round anymore, to be honest.
I was gonna say I don't really know if I can trust NFL draft invites to round one after the Will Levis situation we had a couple years ago. So.
Oh, totally. And that's what they're like, they said they were trying to avoid. Like, that's why they're like, oh, we're only gonna invite people we know are gonna go in the first round. And we're like, okay, well, that makes some logical sense because you don't want people just sitting there looking like dopes in the green room. And that looks like they're gonna probably have that happen again.
Mhm.
All right, so we got the 107 here. Unfortunately, on the other side of our tier break that we mentioned, I think, um,
We
between
might be in play
Ted,
for Tet.
yeah, Ted and Quinshawn Judkins, I'd probably lean Ted because Ted's gonna have probably top 10 to 15 draft capital, I would assume.
Yeah, I agree. Judkins, I'm not even that big of a fan of Judkins himself personally.
Okay.
He's my RB5 behind Caleb.
Would you take Caleb? Yeah, I was gonna say, would you take Caleb Johnson then,
Mm,
or Emeka Egbuka?
I'd probably go Ibuka before I go with either running back.
Okay.
Uh, I might go Caleb. Oh, that might be like an upside play. I don't know. I've this is the spot, or even just a little bit lower, like 8, 9, 10. That we've been doing this for a couple weeks, and I've kind of like have had nightmares about making that specific decision between those 3 or 4 guys. We haven't had to yet, so and I'm hoping that we don't have to today right now, that we can just get
Right.
Tet and just be done with it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Do we take Jackson Dart? Would he be an option?
He would. I mean, he'll. Well, let's hear at 7 or yeah, it would be 7 or 14. I mean, yeah, it would be tough. We'd probably have to take him at 7 if we thought that. Oh, someone took
Oh,
Ted. Looking at
oh
Ibuka,
no.
Judkins, Caleb, or Dart.
Oh no. I think
Ah,
Dart and Ibuka have a better chance of making it back to us than a running back. So I would take Johnson.
okay. We'll do Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think either running back would have made it back to us, but there might be a possibility that we get Ibuka or Dart.
This is a funny question. I know we're not going to answer too many questions on here, but I think this is funny. Who's crying if Genty ends up a Jet tonight? I mean,
Everybody
Brees
with the
Hall,
101 in rookie
literally.
draft.
Brees Hall trade rumors today.
Yep.
Or I don't know if I buy them, but they're out there.
Yeah, I have been wanting Brees Hall to be traded to the Cowboys so badly, just because I think that they would, obviously they have the massive need, and I think they would actually use him.
Dart, there you go.
We did it.
Look at that.
Hey, we played the game.
Yep, there you go. We took a risk. The guy that we maybe even we're going to draft at 7 came back to us at 14. So you'll love to see that. Um, I'm not sure that this team will have enough juice because like they tried to add like they did third round reversal, right? So we're gonna be closer to picking again in the third round. But I think that because these rookie drafts are so top heavy with these like I mean, even like, yeah, like top 2 to 4 or 5 guys here, that it might be tough to make up too much ground where we're at, but you never know. I mean, maybe we just got to take some higher upside swings in this draft and hope to get
Yeah.
lucky.
Especially if like Jalen Milroe is very popularly landing in this late second. And if he pops and you have teams where you've paired him with
Yeah.
Genty or, Travion or Hampton or something like that
Yeah,
juicy
it's
if you're able to pull
nasty.
that off. If
Oh, yeah.
Milrow actually hits.
Yeah, he's just gotta I mean, he's gotta start a couple games. Like, that's all you need out of him, just a couple games, and, um, he's just such a good runner, fantasy, we know, just such a cheat code. Oh, we're back on the clock.
He took Devin Neal. Is it Royals? You don't have any Royals yet.
No, let's go Royals, that's fine. Um, what's the deal with Royals? I don't know a ton about him. I saw him get a little bit of hype, like, recently, somewhat recently for, like, a
If
late
if
first.
he got hurt in 2024, had he played out the entire season, he probably would have had like 2,000 yards. Um,
Really?
it was at Utah State. But yeah, he played, I believe, 9 games this past year. And in those 9 games, he played 7 games, 834 yards and 6 touchdowns. And that is after having 1,115 in 2023. Uh, he's like a really good, like 6'2", 200. Um, has pretty good speed. I think he's a mid 4.4 guy, if I remember correctly. But I think he's the guy that kind of got popped after the Senior Bowl / into the combine, and then just kind of has still been sliding under the radar. I don't know if it's because of Utah State or because other people have been getting hype like Jalen Owell and now Matthew Golden and some other names, Jack Besh.
Yep.
But Royals is just I've stayed very consistently like on him as like a top 7 or 8 wide receiver in this class, and hasn't changed yet.
Nice. Well, I mean, I feel like that could be some value then for all your drafts there specifically. We're coming back around here. Draft Shug, fourth, like mid fourth at this point.
Yeah, Kyle Williams is gone, right? We're too
Oh,
late in the
yeah,
fourth.
let's see. I think he's gone. Yeah.
He's
Yeah, he's
there he
going.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he went like end of the third. So we missed out on
I'm cool with Shuck.
the elusive Kyle Williams again. How many drafts would we have to do to get Kyle Williams until we just like say fuck it and just draft him in the second round? Like, so,
For real.
just like, all right, mid second, we're ripping it anyways. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's the both drafts we've done today. He's gone to the team at 101. So again, that's another situation where I feel like you already got Genty. If you've taken the shot on maybe Jalen Milrow and he hits, you got Kyle Williams down in there too, and he does well for a rookie year. I mean, that's where, like you said, like the top heaviness of this draft format is insane. That it really is, even with the third round reversal, it's really hard to make up that kind of production.
Yeah, because it's not like in like a regular fantasy draft where you think about like, okay, well, at least the first few rounds, everyone's gonna. Oh, sorry, we're on the clock here. I mean, do we dial up Brooks again? I'm totally fine with 100% exposure, so I don't care.
All right, cool. Go for it.
Um, yeah, so like it's not like a regular fantasy draft. We're like, okay, everyone in the first 2 rounds. I mean, they're gonna play a lot. They're like, basically all workhorses to some extent, or at least like, predominantly like this. Like, we don't even know if like we don't like Shadur Sanders. Like, we don't even know if he plays more than like a game this year. Like, we don't even know if he plays. He might not
Mhm.
play a game. Like, we might not start a single game. And
Yep.
he's the 12th pick of the draft compared to the first pick, which is Ashton Genty, who is like basically a guaranteed workhorse wherever he goes.
And it gets even tougher down in here because, in those other formats, like in the Flex 4, you can make up for that top heaviness by, if you're
Yeah.
really savvy in those mid to late rounds with some of these guys, you can make up for that very easily.
Oh,
But in
totally.
this format, I mean, we might be nobody in this 6th round might actually end up being drafted. And if they do,
Literally.
they might never actually play significant snaps ever. And that's where this format gets so difficult sometimes
Yeah,
because
these
you're
guys
just
are
like,
outside
what the
looking
heck?
in on any playing time, basically.
I saw Keandre Lambert Smith's name down in there. I'm cool drafting him. He's definitely a sleeper at the wide receiver position. Former Penn Stater, then went to Auburn. Um, that he I saw him getting a little bit of love over the past couple of days from Jetpack Galileo, who's a very prominent film watcher, and then Matt Harmon threw his name out too. He's been very sneaky in my modeling system as well. Like he's in that kind of Ty Felton, Jack Besh range of wide receivers. That I mean, he's got the prototypical size. He's got great hands, um, solid speed. He's a sleeper name to pay attention, especially for anybody else watching in rookie drafts too.
Yeah, I did not know who that is. So that's a great call out. Where do you think he goes in the draft, or is he drafted at all?
Oh, he's probably a fifth round pick.
Okay, nice. So this draft was faster, 8-12. I mean, again, still, I mean, a normal basketball draft takes a good 30 to 50 minutes. And that's a fast draft. I mean, as someone who's done plenty of them, it takes a little while. So it's quick, it's easy. Don't have to think a whole lot. So yeah, that was good. Best value ADP for us was Jackson Dart. We got one spot after ADP. Nice. And then I'm assuming, I guess we probably don't want to adjust our boosters
Mm.
at all now.
Yeah,
Well, maybe.
we haven't talked about this yet today, so if you want to run
Yeah.
through that.
Yeah. So you can adjust, like, basically each player gets a multiplier. So you can see next to Caleb Johnson, you got 2x multiplier, Jackson Dart 1.7x multiplier. And this locks right before the season starts. So, like, say Jackson Dart is the sure starter week one, probably want him at 2x, to be honest. Say he's not starting week one, we probably maybe want to drop him down, or put Taj Brooks up, or, like, maybe boost Jalen Royals up. So, like, obviously, ideally, these, both Shuck and Dart are starting, and we can have them be our 2 and 1.75x. But if not, you can adjust that. So it's kind of another cool twist here, Ted. Maybe also counter some of the other stuff that we talked about with, like, the top heaviness of the first round there as well. So kind of another fun feature of Fast Draft.
Yep. It autos to the round that you selected all these guys in, but like Connor said, you can mess with it immediately after the draft. You can mess with it a month from now, and anytime up until the actual start of the season. So like you said, if you get training camp news, depth chart news, anything like that, go in, change it, and yeah, counteract some of the Ashton Genty, Milrow, Kyle Williams teams apparently.
Oh man, awesome. Well, this is great. And then we got the NFL draft tonight, and I'm sure we'll be back, next week, doing maybe a flex four, maybe another rookie only contest. We'll see what is available.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll see what goes on. I will do this for a couple more weeks, like Connor said. But in the meantime, if you guys want to play, sign up for Fast Draft. Use the promo code DLF. You get a deposit match for up to $50, and you can join this Origins Chaos contest until it fills. Like we kind of talked about throughout the day, it probably will still be open throughout the remainder of today, even into round one tonight. Might even still be open tomorrow. Maybe not before rounds 2 and 3, but sometimes during the day. But if you're into this, and you just have a spare 8 to 10 minutes plus a little bit of maybe wait time for contest to fill, that's an entry right there, and you can just go do that very quickly at any point in time throughout the next, we'll say, under 24 hours for this Origins contest. Do you have any read on if they're going to open up another one after this, like
I
Origins specifically?
I'm not sure, honestly. That was unclear to me, because then they have the flex forward, which is regular. I wouldn't be surprised to see him do like a post draft Origins as well, like just like one right after, because this is, I mean, it's popular, it's fun, it's rookies only. So,
Hmm.
um, and if they aren't going to do that, maybe we can put in a word with the big man, and tell him that
There we
he
go.
should open one, see what happens.
More.
Yeah, exactly. More rookies.
Yes. All right. Very cool. What appreciate everybody for joining us and just for hanging out. And while we've been talking through some of these rookies, sign up for Fast Draft. We'll be back again next week for another quick stream just like this. Not sure exactly what day, but we'll figure it out. But until then, enjoy round one tonight. Enjoy rounds 2, 3 tomorrow night, Saturday, all that good stuff. Prepare for your rookie drafts. We'll have all the content on DLF, YouTube, and the website as well. But until then, guys, enjoy NFL draft week. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.